So good morning, students. So I am discussing about the anthracene derivatives, which comes under the classification of anti-cancer drugs. Okay, so already in the previous classes or in the previous videos I told about some of the classifications, that is about alkylating agents, natural products, and antibiotics. Next, coming to this anthracene derivatives. So in the anthracene derivatives, so these anthracene derivatives means anthracene or anthracenedione derivatives. Okay, so the drug is mitomycin. Okay, mitomycin is the drug which is under the classification of anthracene derivatives. This mitomycin used as an anti-cancer drug, and the mechanism of action of mitomycin is mainly it causes cross-linking of the DNA and inhibits the DNA synthesis. So similar mechanisms when compared to the alkylating agents, but mainly in the alkylating agents, alkylating agents may form carbonium ions, and in this mitomycin it directly acts upon the DNA and it causes the cross-linking of the DNA. And coming to the adverse reactions of the anthracene derivatives, myelosuppression and GI disturbances can be seen, and mainly used in the bladder as well as liver, prostate, and the stomach cancers. Okay, so next comes under the classification, that is enzymes. So these are also enzymes are also used as an anti-cancer drugs. So in these enzymes, L-asparaginase is the drug which is used as an anti-cancer agent. Okay, L-asparaginase is the drug which is mainly used as an anti-cancer drug. Next, the main mechanism of L-asparaginase is it is used to, or it mainly degrades the plasma asparagine. Okay, whenever the L-asparaginase is the drug used as an anti-cancer drug, and this drug when it binds to the cell membranes or at the particular receptors which are present on the cell, it mainly degrades the plasma asparagine. Okay, so this plasma asparagine is mainly helpful for the protein synthesis. Okay, asparagine is helpful for protein synthesis. So whenever this drug bind to this plasma asparagine, so that asparagine may converts into the aspartic acid and the ammonia. Here it degrades the actions, or it destroys the actions of the asparagine, and that particular asparagine may converts into its metabolites, that is the aspartic acid and ammonia. So whenever there is a conversion of this asparagine to its metabolites, here this asparagine it loses its strength or capability to produce or to form the proteins. Okay, and adverse reactions are similar, but in this mainly by using this L-asparaginase, hypersensitivity reactions may be seen, and also hyperglycemic condition and clotting effects may be seen due to this usage of L-asparaginase. And coming to this pharmacokinetics, easily soluble and through the oral administration, and the nearly 80 to 90% may binds to the plasma protein. And the main use of this L-asparaginase is mainly used to treat the acute lymphatic leukemia. Mainly it is used in the children in the conditions of acute lymphatic leukemia. When compared to this anthracene derivatives, mitomycin is used to treat the bladder, prostate cancers, and the stomach cancers. But in this enzymes, L-asparaginase is used to treat the lymphatic leukemia. Next, monoclonal antibodies. So in this monoclonal antibodies, rituximab, bevacizumab, cefiximab, so all these drugs are used as an anti-cancer agents. The main mechanism of action of this rituximab either or the bevacizumab and cefiximab, next transfusumab, so all these drugs may act upon the B cell. So that is B cell means here the B cell is the blood cells. So mainly in the blood cells, white blood cells, B lymphocytes. Okay, Okay, so this the drugs mainly act upon the B lymphocytes, that is in the B cells. Okay, so what happens already, CD20 cells or a CD20 antigens are present on the B cells. Okay, cluster differentiation cells. So here in the normal cell, that is mainly in the B cells or the B lymphocytes, CD20s are the receptor sites, and these receptors are the code that cluster differentiation 20 antigens are mainly present on the B cell of the lymphocytes or cell of the lymphocytes. So these CD20 cells are mainly these CD20 cells are mainly involved, or it plays a major role in the calcium influx. So this is the normal B cell, that is B lymphocyte cell. So this B lymphocyte cells consist of the CD20 proteins. So cluster differentiation numbering is 20. So what is the action of this CD20 means? So mainly it enhances the calcium influx, or it increases calcium influx. That is nothing but it induces or it increases the influx of calcium ions into the cell. So what is the role of CD20 on the B cells? So this CD20s are helpful or plays a major role in the influx of the calcium ions into the B cells. So whenever that more amounts of calcium ions enter into the cells across the plasma membrane, and it maintains the intracellular calcium ions, what happens? So these calcium ions cross across the plasma membrane of the B cell, and after entering of these calcium ions into the cell, it leads to activation of the cells and activation of the beta cells, and it produces more cells, or mitotic divisions can be increased by the calcium or in presence of the calcium ions. Okay, so that B cell or the B lymphocytes consist of on the plasma membrane, it consists of CD20 proteins. That CD20 are helpful for the entry of calcium ions into the cell. So whenever there is entry of calcium ions into the cell, in presence of calcium ions, the B cells gets activated. Okay, whenever the calcium enters into the cell, so what is general action of the calcium ions is to stimulant actions or contraction effects, or enhancing the effects of some of the organs or some of the cells. So in this the entry of calcium ions increases the action of the B cells, and here more amounts of cells are liberated or proliferated from the B cells. So here more proliferations can be seen by only in presence of the calcium ions. So next, this is the normal the condition which we have seen in the cancerous cells. Okay, if a person may have suffered with the cancer conditions. Okay, so the lymphoma mainly, which is it can be seen in the lymphoma condition. So whenever the rituximab or any of the monoclonal antibodies are used, so that monoclonal antibodies act upon the CD20 receptors or CD20 proteins, and it inhibits the action of the CD20. So here mechanism of action of the drugs is, so general B cell consists of more amounts of calcium ions due to CD20 receptors. So when the drug it binds to the CD20 receptors, and it blocks or it decreases the actions of CD20. So whenever there is a decrease or it inhibits the actions of CD20, here there is no entry of calcium ions. Calcium ions can be decreased. So whenever there is a decrease in the calcium ions, that B cells loss its proliferation characteristics or mitotic divisions. Okay, drug attaches to the CD20 molecule. So CD20 molecule action in CD20 receptor action is to increase the calcium ions concentration inside the cell. So whenever the drug binds to the CD20, this drug it inhibits the actions of the CD20, that is nothing but decreases the calcium ions entry or calcium ions influx. So during this mechanism, whenever there is low amounts of calcium ions which is present in the cell, so the cell may lose its activation, or cell may lose its proliferation characteristics. Okay, so this is about the monoclonal antibodies. And adverse reactions are mainly in these monoclonal antibodies. Hypotension, chills, and rashes can be observed by using these drugs, and mainly used in the lymphoma, B cell lymphoma condition. Okay, so either the rituximab or the bevacizumab or cefiximab, all these drugs, it binds to the CD20 receptors. Okay. So next, anti-metabolites. In this anti-metabolites, folic acid analogs. So then the folic acid analogs, methotrexate. So methotrexate is the drug which is mainly used as an folic acid antagonist. Folic acid analogs. Mainly it inhibits the enzyme dihydrofolate reductase in the cells. This methotrexate or the folic acid analog, it inhibits the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme. Already you seen in the viral, maybe in viral drugs. Okay. Okay. It competitively inhibits the enzyme. So it mainly inhibits the enzyme dihydrofolate reductase enzyme. So whenever the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme can be inhibited, means it inhibits the DNA synthesis and arrest of cell division can be seen by using these folic acid analogs. Okay. Adverse reactions are myelosuppression, teratogenicity, and another adverse effects are mucositis and dermatitis can be seen. Not only these symptoms, already that vomiting, not nausea, vomiting, and alopecia can be seen by the using the folic acid analogs. So this folic acid analogs are mainly used in the choriocarcinoma. Okay, choriocarcinoma. So mainly used to treat the choriocarcinoma. So that choriocarcinoma is the cancer of the placenta. Okay. Next, in the breast cancers as well as in acute lymphocyte leukemic conditions and acute myeloid leukemias. Okay. So what is the action of folic acid analogs? So the drug is methotrexate. It mainly acts upon the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme. So in general conditions, this dihydrofolate reductase is helpful for the DNA synthesis. Okay, so whenever the methotrexate binds to the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme present inside the cells, so here there is inhibition of this folate reductases, and this folate reductases indirectly inhibits the DNA synthesis. It's coming to this pyrimidine analogs. Pyrimidine analogs, that is fluorouracil, and the mechanism of fluorouracil is mainly it inhibits it mainly acts upon the enzyme, that is here it inhibits the thymidylate synthase enzyme. So whenever this thymidylate synthase enzyme gets inhibited, means here there is no conversion of deoxyuridylic acid to the thymidyllic acid. So in normal conditions, deoxyuridylic acid gets converted to thymidyllic acid, and this thymidyllic acid is helpful for the synthesis of DNA or helpful for the management of DNA molecule. So whenever this thymidylate synthase, it acts fluorouracil acts upon the thymidylate synthase. So this gets inhibited, and due to the inhibition of this synthase enzyme, it act upon the deoxyuridylic acid, and it blocks or it inhibits the conversion of this deoxyuridylic acid into the thymidyllic acid. Okay, so if there is no formation of the thymidyllic acid, this in turn it may leads to DNA losses its strength of the DNA, and decreases the mutations or mitotic divisions can be decreased, and it may in some cases the DNA may be damages. And adverse reactions are similar adverse reactions. Next, mainly used to treat the colorectal cancers, breast cancers, and stomach, rectum, and ovarian cancers. Okay. So fluorouracils are comes under the classification. Fluorouracil is example comes under the classification of pyrimidine analogs, and main mechanism of action of this fluorouracil is to inhibit the thymidylate synthase. And this thymidylate synthase in normal conditions it acts upon the deoxyuridylic acid. So here there is a conversion of deoxyuridylic acid into the thymidyllic acid. This thymidyllic acid is helpful for the DNA synthesis in normal mechanisms. So whenever it acts upon the thymidylate synthase, this thymidylate synthase it blocks the actions of the deoxyuridylic acid and inhibits the conversion of this thymidyllic acid into its metabolites and inhibits the DNA synthesis. So purine analogs or purine antagonist. In this purine antagonist, mercaptopurine is used as a drug. So what is the action of mercaptopurine? Is they act upon the substrate that is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyltransferase. Okay, so this is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyltransferases, and this can converted into the ribonucleotide, and this ribonucleotide inhibits the conversion of inosine monophosphates purine nucleotides. Here it breaks the formation of the nucleotides or for base pair, nucleic acid base pairs can be inhibited by the formation of ribonucleotide. Okay, and also these are also used in acute leukemia condition and choriocarcinoma conditions, and adverse reactions are hyperuricemia and hepatic necrosis. So this is about the anti-cancer drugs. Okay, so again I am telling about the classification of anti-cancer drugs. The anti-cancer drugs are classified into several classes. In that, first, alkylating agents, natural products, antibiotics, anthracene derivatives, enzymes, monoclonal antibodies and anti-metabolites. So this in my previous videos, that is chemotherapy of malignancy, part 1 and part 2, I discussed about that before classifications. In this video I discussed now, that is anthracene derivatives and enzymes, monoclonal antibodies and anti-metabolites. So this is about the chemotherapy of malignancy. So all of you must watch 3 videos. Okay, thank you.